everybody, it's Shayna with Robinson Repurposing, and if you're new here, what I like to do is thrift flips, repurposed furniture, Dollar Tree DIYs, all that kind of stuff on a budget. So if you like that, definitely stick around, subscribe to my channel, and let's go ahead and get into today's video. Okay, so with this clock, I started by taking the whole thing apart, basically. I took the whole top part off, and then I just went ahead and started painting all the gold parts white, because I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to do with this yet, but I know I wanted to cover up the gold. I'm just not really into the gold, any gold anywhere. I don't really like gold. So anyway, I covered the gold up on that piece. Then I decided to take apart the rest of the clock and try to paint the gold parts in the middle too, but you'll see that here in a minute. So I painted the outer part of the clock black, and then I painted the little round peg circle things on the bottom. I painted those white as well. Okay, and then here, I should not have painted that part yet. I should have waited until I actually got that piece off of the clock face. But I was like too anxious to figure out what it was going to look like, so I did it anyway. But anyway, you'll see here in a minute. I got that all painted white first of all, but then I go and take my pliers, and this took me forever. Like, it took me forever to get that glass piece like off the clock face area, and I was actually getting super frustrated, and I was about ready to, I was like, I didn't even care if I broke it at this point. I was getting so mad. You can kind of probably tell that I was like getting a little bit aggressive. But anyway, I finally like got all those little pieces bent back, and I got that paint scraper, what's that called, up underneath it, and I just finally got this off. And then you'll see here in a second, I just painted that gold part on the inside with a tiny little paintbrush. It was kind of tedious, but I just painted that white because, like I said, I didn't want the gold. I didn't want that. So I had to finish it out and do all the parts. Oh, and it needed a good cleaning, so I cleaned it off real quick. Okay, and yeah, this part was a little bit tedious, but I didn't want to tape it off or anything like that because that would have been crazy. So I just kind of went in with that little paintbrush and painted it, and I kept moving the clock hands, and it was fine. I found though that like when I watered down my paint, it worked out a lot better than like putting on the thick paint, because this was like a metal. That was like a metal material. So anyway, that's all I did here. Okay, and sorry I sound super nasally in this video, in this voiceover. I don't know what's going on. We've all had a cold, and it's been no fun. But yeah, we'll get through it. So anyway, that's why I sound so nasally. And then Winston's also sitting right here, so you might hear him. My baby, you might hear him breathing a little bit, so sorry about that. Anyway, you might have seen in the beginning there, you probably seen where I painted this like a light black, like a black wash stain kind of thing. Well, I that's all I was gonna do, just to kind of darken it up, but I didn't like the look, so I ended up going ahead and painting it black. And honestly, you'll see me reaching behind me there, because I only painted it black mainly because I spilled a whole container of black paint, and I was like, I'm not about to waste all this. So I was like, well, I'll just paint this black because I was working on this. And then I was disappointed though, because I thought it looked like a tire, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna turn out terrible. And this project honestly was getting very frustrating, because like the part wouldn't come apart, and then the paint color, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be so ugly. But anyway, it turns out super cute, so bear with me here. But anyway, I just get that all painted, all done with the paint. And then I just decided to take some leftover like paint that was on my brush and dry brush that inner part of that clock, because I just wanted it to look antique and all that, you know, so I did that. Okay, and then here's how I got rid of the tire look that I thought it had going on for it here. I just took sandpaper and it really, really sanded this down hard. Like, I wanted it to look super, super distressed, and I wanted a lot of that wood, the original wood, to show through. So I took, I don't know, this was like a 60 or 80 grit piece of sandpaper, and I just sanded it off really, really good. Okay, and then this part was hard again to get this thing back together. So same process. I just took the pliers, the paint scraper, pushed, you know, it was frustrating, like I said. So I just tried to push everything back together. Finally got it I finally got it. And then I did have to retouch up that white part on the front because like I told you guys, I shouldn't have painted it until the end since I had to waller that piece so much and like beat on it and get it back together. So anyway, I had to touch that up, and then I also did have to scrape the inner part of the glass off that way that, you know, it didn't have paint on it. So basically, long story short, on this one, I just took the whole thing apart, I painted what I wanted to paint, and then I put the whole thing back together. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just sanding that last piece off of the top piece off, and then I'm putting the clock back together. And then I used my Cricut like tweezer things to scrape off the paint on the glass. And if you guys didn't know already, which I'm sure most of you do, chalk paint just scrapes right off of glass or mirrors or anything. So I don't usually ever worry about getting it on glass. You just take a paint scraper or something like that and get it back off. So that was all there was to that part. And I just touched up the white bottom pieces there. There's little Shep making an appearance. I think he wanted a drink here, so I gave him a drink. Okay, and then I just attached to the back, and this was all done. At first, I tried to attach it upside down, and it wouldn't go back on, obviously. So I finally figured this part out, too. Like I said, this whole process was a little bit frustrating. And I was showing you guys there, I forgot to put the second hand back on, and I honestly said heck with it because I was not taking it back apart. And there's my hands, aftermath of this clock, and here's a view of the clock on my shelf, and I think it turned out so cute. I absolutely love this. I thought it was going to be a fail, but it ended up being pretty darn cute. Okay, and for this second DIY, I took this little thing I had in my craft stash and I wanted to get it used up. I don't remember where I got it, but I feel like you can get similar stuff at Dollar Tree. It's just one of those like little square MDF style boards, or like, you know what I mean. So I painted it white, and it was already like painted kind of like a galvanized look. I had done that before, and then like you can see there, I had spilled paint on it and all kinds of things. It's just been sitting in my craft room. Anyway, I painted it white. Then I took some wax and I decided to like distress it on the edges. Well, that didn't give me the look I wanted, so I actually like put wax all over it and then wiped it off and then used sandpaper. You'll see the whole process here in a second. It's pretty straightforward, but I'll put it all in here for you guys to see here. And then I took this greenery, it's from Dollar Tree, and I just cut it all off and got like all the little individual pieces shortened up. And then I took a piece of ribbon that I had just sitting there on hand and I wrapped these up. I know I could have taken like floral, what's it called, tape, you know, and I could have done that and wrapped it up, the same concept, but I just hot glued this and taped it up because I just wanted it to be gathered. I just wanted it to be like a little bunch of greenery. And then I took this lacy ribbon, I think this is from Michael's, and I just cut a piece the length of the size of the box there. And then I took my staple gun, stapled it to the back. And then I stuck the greenery in there, but I thought it looked a little plain, so I decided to make a bow. So I just did this little crisscross bow with like assorted, mostly Dollar Tree ribbon. Some of it's from Michael's, like that lacy one on the back, the eyelet kind, it's from Michael's. And then I hot glued that to the lace on the front, but I didn't want this to touch, like I didn't want it to be all attached. I just wanted the ribbon to be attached to the front lace. So like you can see there, I kind of held it up and then stuck the greenery in, and that's all there was to it. I think this was so simple, but it's so cute. Okay, and then here's a look at how it turned out, and here's a look at my shelf, and this also has a sneak peek of the last DIY on it, which I wanted to mention to you guys that I filmed the last one a little bit differently, and I want you guys to let me know what you think. I did it kind of like in a live style format, you know, like a live video that people do crafting, but I obviously can't go live right now with all my kids. They're crazy, and I would hate to go live and then like not be able to finish something. So anyway, long story short, let me know what you guys think of this last one. I don't know if I want to paint this white or not. This is a really tough decision because I kind of want to leave it like it is, but like I kind of want to use this antique wax and darken up this edge. And then I'm tempted to paint this white. If I have a wreath on it and this is brown, it doesn't look as cute coming through as I feel like it would with white underneath. But like I said, I wanted to keep this kind of original, like to its original self. I'm just gonna paint it. I'm just gonna do it. Blow dry that. I like you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this antique wax on
I
here.
like you though.
You don't like me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on real thick like kinda. Let it set for just a second and then I'm gonna wipe it off. And I'm gonna like black wash it. Right there, just a tiny bit, and I need some water. I'm really gonna do this. Okay. And then I'm gonna stir that up real good right here on my little palette. Wipe it off, and then black wash this. Okay, so I have this thing from Dollar Tree. Let me clean up my area here. And I'm gonna cut this out. And make it like a wreath, like an actual wreath. So like this is a wreath and I'm gonna cut it out and kind of use it as a wreath maybe. We'll see, I don't know, this might be ugly. But I'm gonna do it. Just kind of weaving in and out here. Find this. My scissors are so dull. Okay, oh my gosh, that actually looks kind of cool. Like that. I'm gonna keep this because I might be able to use that for something. Typical crafter. Okay, well, it's falling on the floor, but it's okay. So I just painted this and I'm thinking maybe I want to attach it to this. Oh yeah, that's so cute.
Oh no.
But I don't want to make anything permanent to this because I think I want to like reuse this thing with like the seasons maybe. Or I just want to make it, I don't want to make it permanent because I don't know, because I really like this piece. Okay, I'm going to take some greenery too maybe. I'm going to try that. Let's see what it looks like. I promise it's next, okay. Okay, so then I just stapled this greenery into this piece on the bottom. I did there was like 6 pieces in that greenery stem. So I did 3 little pieces on each side. And then I stapled them, like I stapled them on the bottom and then I also stapled them up the side. Okay, and then I put a tiny dab of hot glue on this because like I said, I didn't want anything to be permanent on this. So I just a little tiny dab of hot glue there and then a little tiny dab of hot glue for the ribbon. And yeah, that was all there was to it. Okay, and if you normally watch my videos, you will notice that style, the way I videoed, was a little bit different than normal. But let me know in the comments if you guys like that, if you like seeing, like, me in the video, you know, kind of doing it and my thought process and stuff like that and, like, how I go about it and all that. And then here's a look at how it turned out, styled on my shelf. These are just some of my favorite flips I've done in a while. And anyway, thank you all so much for watching, as always.